Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. It's Saturday morning and we've got a huge game to look forward to tomorrow against Man City at home at Old Trafford. We will be discussing what is the likely outcome of that game. And we're also going to be discussing Garnacho and whether the FA are going to take any action against him and whether they're going to ban him for that social media post he put out there of Harry Maguire and Onana, and he had two gorillas captioned underneath the image of those two players. What does that mean? Do you think that was a racial slur or was it just something else? Also in today's show, we're going to be discussing Casemiro and how he might be back for Man United, but should he start for Man United in tomorrow's game? But before we kick off today's show, as always, please go ahead and hit that like button below this video so it gets pushed out to lots more Man United fans. And if you're new to the Man United stream channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and opinions in one single dose. Okay, so let's kick off today's show with transfer news. Yes, we've not had transfer news for a long time, but Man United already look like they're busy lining up players for that January transfer window, which looks like it's going to be a very busy one for Man United. They're already looking at centre-backs and they're also looking at some midfield options out there. But what we're discussing is Scott McTominay. Lots and lots of interest from other clubs for Scott McTominay, and it looks like Man United are prepared to let him go and sell him. Now, Scott McTominay might be a decent squad player, but he's certainly not someone who can play in, week out in that first starting 11 for Man United. We feel Man United have got better options in front of Scott McTominay and they need reliable and class players. We don't feel Scott McTominay is that player. Let us know in the comments below what your opinion is of Scott McTominay. It might be completely different. You might actually really like Scott McTominay and feel that he is the future for Man United. If that is the case, drop your comments below. Let us know why you think that, and let us know if you think completely contrary and you feel the same as us, where you feel Man United should cash in on him and sell him now and get someone else in replacement of Scott McTominay who can do a better job week in, week out and actually give Ten Hag some options. And talking about options in the middle of the park, we've heard from Ten Hag that Casemiro is back fit and available for Man United. Now, should he be playing in tomorrow's game against Man City? Casemiro hasn't had the best start to the season. He looked pretty sluggish right at the start of the season. The first few games, he just looked completely off the pace. He had then a middle patch where he actually played well, but then he seems to have gone back into a slump in the last few games before he got injured away on international duty. And that's why we feel that Ten Hag should leave Casemiro on the bench for tomorrow's game and put someone else in the centre of that midfield who can provide them with a lot more energy and a lot more grit and determination to go and stop that Man City midfield from creating any chances for Haaland. But again, let us know what you think about Casemiro. Do you think Ten Hag should be starting him? Do you think he comes straight into that midfield, or do you think we leave him out and bring someone else, maybe someone like Hannibal in there to give us that stamina, give us that engine, give us that work rate in the centre of that midfield? In other news concerning Man United, we're still hearing rumblings on about Jadon Sancho and his situation at Man United. It does look like it hasn't resolved and it's nowhere near being resolved. Ten Hag is sticking to his guns and Sancho is sticking to his guns. We have heard this week that Sancho is not allowed anywhere near the senior team. Now, personally, that on the face of it looks really harsh, but we do not know what's been going on behind the scenes with Sancho, the coaching staff, the players and Erik Ten Hag. We can only guess at what's been going on and go off what we're hearing from sources, but we believe that there's something a lot more deeper that's been going on with Jadon Sancho, and that is why Erik Ten Hag has banished him away from the senior team, because Ten Hag must feel that Sancho will have a detrimental effect on the team unity and current morale in that squad. Also, in other news concerning Man United and the takeover, we reported earlier this week that Jim Ratcliffe was rumoured to not be happy with the Glazers and a possibility of not being able to buy them out later on in the future. We heard from some sources that Sir Jim still had not received confirmation and a guarantee by the Glazers that they will sell the remaining shares to him later on in the future after he purchased that 25% minority stake. Now, this point is crucial to the entire agreement, and if Sir Jim does not get that clause within the agreement allowing him to buy the remaining shares from the Glazers sometime in the future, then Sir Jim is crazy to stick around and give the Glazers a lifeline by giving them £1.5 billion for that 25% stake in the club. He should walk away and not allow the Glazers to play this game with him. If there's any substance to this story about Sir Jim not getting that clause within the agreement, then we are at real risk of having no takeover at all at Man United and the Glazers sitting there forever not shifting. That is a huge problem and no fan would want that. So every Man United fan needs to be really worried about this development. We do not want the Glazers to have an excuse to walk away from everything and say that they're not selling the club. That will be the worst case scenario from everything, and we need some kind of movement from them, and we need to see some light at the end of that tunnel. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. You are watching the Man United Stream channel, a channel by the fans for the fans.